Alright guys, it's Wednesday, November 5th. I'm back with a pickup video. I started off at St. Joseph's Thrift Store today. They had absolutely nothing. A couple of Wii games, but they were Guitar Hero, and they're still sitting on a bunch of sports games, NFL head coach, and then some NHL and Madden stuff, but nothing of note there. I picked up a CD, Neil Young's Mirror Ball. I don't have it. I had it at one point, but I don't know what I did with it either. I very rarely sell off CDs, so I know that I didn't sell it off. It might have been loaned to somebody or lost when I moved, but whatever. So after hitting St. Joseph's, I ran out to the Goodwill store. First pickup was a Duke. It doesn't have the breakaway cord, but I have a bunch of those, so I wasn't worried about that. $4. Everything in here was $4. So $4 for the Duke. Star Wars Phantom Menace. Namco Museum Volume 1, which I have 2 of now, because I thought I had Volume 2, but I don't. This one I was super excited to find, Missile Command. I love those remakes that they did. Space Invaders, I've said before. I've got Pong, Space Invaders. I'd like to come across a Centipede, and I think that's the set. Then Killzone 3 for $4. It's interesting. This was purchased used at a GameStop, and GameStop must have thrown it in a case because it's in a NFL case, which means this was most likely a Madden at some point, but whatever. So yeah, for $20, nothing amazing, but you know, 3 games and Killzone 3 and a Duke controller, which is all right. Not going to complain about that. Went out to the Salvation Army, and they didn't have anything amazing, but they did have a controller that they haven't been sitting on for a while. This says that it came in on the 2nd of October, but I haven't seen it there before. Cord is still stiff. It's a Gamepad Colors digital pad for the PS1. I've said before I don't mind using the third-party stuff if it's going to preserve the wear and tear on my first-party gear. Sony controllers are getting tougher to come by. So I actually like using these. These digital pads actually work terrific. I have 2 other ones of this in white that I use for King of Fighters and Street Fighter games. Then I got a Bug's Life, which I know isn't amazing, but I've said before, I absolutely love these color printed discs. The Small Soldiers one is amazing. And then kind of a Disney theme out there. Lilo and Stitch Experiment 626. I remember my girlfriend and I went and saw this in the theater on a date, so she was excited to see that. So this game is kind of sentimental value. And I bought a stack of CDs when I was out there too. That had a bunch of Outcast stuff that some fool had donated. So, and I didn't have any of it, so I picked it up. So I got a stack of CDs and Lilo and Stitch, a Bug's Life, and a controller for $15. That sweet old lady that I've mentioned her before with the thick European accent gave me a deal on all that stuff because she always says that I'm so nice to her when I go in. So whatever. There's a nice pickup out there for nothing incredible, but it was always nice to have somebody tell you that you've been nice to them, and she gave me a deal because of it. Then I went over to the Arc Upper Valley and picked up ATV Quad Power Racing. Price tag says $5. They gave it to me for $3 because she said they'd had it for a while, which isn't true because I was there 2 weeks ago and they had absolutely no games. Last week I cleaned out whatever Xbox stuff they had. Unless this had been sitting for a while in a different spot, I don't know where they had it, but whatever. My next stop was the Dakota Boys Ranch, and I got a copy of Anarchy Reigns for $10. This was the most expensive single pickup of the day. If you hear some crackling behind me, my cat Gandalf is chewing on something. But yeah, Anarchy Reigns was $10. It was the most expensive, but it's brand new. Brand new at a thrift store, so not a bad deal. The other pickup was Spyro Enter the Dragonfly. It's not complete, but for whatever reason, I purchased this game in 3 different lots, and it's never in the case. Every time it's been something else, so it's just careless sellers on eBay not double checking what they sent, and that's just laziness. I've never sent anything wrong out when I've sold something on eBay, mainly because I don't want to go through the hassle of taking care of reshipping it or compensating the person for their for having to ship it back to me, having to return it back to me. So I always double check and oftentimes triple check. There are several times I haven't sealed up the box until I actually get to the post office. So next up was Battalion Wars for the GameCube. Metal Arms, Glitch in the System. This is an amazing game. Sierra, as far as I'm concerned, hit it out of the ballpark. Really one of the hidden gems on the PS2 and original Xbox. Sort of a platformer with light RPG elements. You can upgrade weapons and abilities and whatnot. But this was, I think, had Microsoft or Sony scooped this up and said this could be a mascot type character, we'd be talking about metal arms like they talk about Ratchet and Clank and Sly Cooper and Sonic and Mario. Maybe not on the Mario level, but as a mascot, I think this would have been a great property for Microsoft to have scooped up and used as sort of something a little more kid-friendly than Master Chief or Marcus Phoenix from Gears of War. And then also disc only of NHL Hits 2003. For whatever reason, I said this on my Xbox pickup from a little bit ago, or last week, I believe. For whatever reason, that game still goes reasonably high. Disc only, even for the PS2, is like $9. I don't get it. You know, it's the NHL Blitz, it's the NFL Blitz, but applied to hockey, and I really don't get it. I'm going to add it to my collection. It's not complete. I'll track down a manual and whatnot for it, but each one of those games that was without a case was $1.49, so I spent like $16 there on that stuff. Next up is a lot that came in the mail today of original Xbox games. I'm trying to complete the entire Xbox run, which right now is reasonably cheap to do. Reasonably cheap to do on the Xbox right now. So, first one, Dance Dance Revolution Ultra Mix 2. Amped. I don't have any of these, except for this one, because I was not paying attention and picked it up anyways. ATV Quad Power Racing 2. Batman Begins, which I'd literally forgotten about. I completely forgot this game existed. I haven't even played it. Castlevania Curse of Darkness. This game is not collectible by any means, but because the HD version just came out for the Xbox One and PS4, or maybe it's just PS4, I can't remember, but they did an HD upgrade of this, and because of it, it's starting to get more of a following. But Cell Damage is a lot of fun, sort of a car combat racer, very heavily, as the name implies, very heavily cel-shaded. Actually, kind of a cool game to look at still to this day. Some of those cel-shading graphics seem to hold up better. I remember when it became the thing to do and people got sick of it, but now it's they actually hold up better because they were never set out to look amazing in the sense of like realism. They were set out to look amazing in the sense of a cartoon. And that's why like the old Disney stuff and the old Warner Brothers stuff holds up, is that they made it look like a cartoon and not realistic. Sonic Mega Collection Plus, which I know I already have, but this is the original version, not the Platinum Hits. So I'm going to put the Platinum Hits up for sale. Quantum Redshift. This is a futuristic racer, and I firmly believe that Microsoft had hoped that this would be their sort of Wipeout on the PlayStation. I believe that they were hoping this would become their Wipeout. I mean, Junkie XL did the soundtrack. Need for Speed Underground 2. Not much of a racing fan, but I don't have it, so it'll go in the collection. Star Wars Revenge of the Sith Episode 3. Whatever. Not by any means a great game, but if I remember correctly, it controlled where you did your lightsaber swings on the right analog stick. I might be wrong on that, but I believe it's that game. NFL 2K5, ESPN's NFL 2K5, as far as I'm concerned, the last great American football game ever made. Madden has just been rehash after rehash after rehash with slight tweaks here and there, but this was the best football game ever made. Presentation is spot on. Stat tracking was spot on. The realism, I remember playing through a season, and I remember having games where my running back would have like 26 carries for 95 yards and a touchdown. And that's the stuff that actually happens in the NFL. You don't have the 10 carries for 330 yards ever. and that's what made this game great. It was actually challenging. You actually felt like you accomplished something when you won a game, and it was an amazing football game. And really, I've only bought one football game since, and that was the Madden Anniversary. I have not owned a Madden since then. NFL 2K5 was the pinnacle for me, and I think it was for a lot of people. I know there's one guy on eBay who still sells upgraded Microsoft memory cards for the original Xbox with roster changes, and he still does it every once in a while. I don't know if he actually sells the memory card anymore. I think he just sells the service where you send him your memory card, and he'll put it on there for you. But yeah, that shows you that there's still a devoted fan base. I mean, they still update Tecmo every once in a while. There's Gandalf back there if you saw his head poking through. This is Sega's version of Super Mario Strikers, I guess. And yeah, this is actually, these cartoony soccer games are a lot of fun. Super Mario Strikers is a lot of fun. Sega Soccer Slam is a lot of fun. I think there's a career mode in here, and it's a 3-on-3 soccer game. Obviously cartoony and over the top, and you know, stuff that you would never get away with on a real soccer field flies in this game. But that was this was a lot of fun, and I don't have it in the collection. I don't think it's particularly rare, but I don't see it out there at used game shops very much. So for whatever reason, I'm glad to have it in the collection. I'm going to go through a quick stack of eBay games that I got this week. 360. Let's see. Oh, there we go. This is all of them for the 360. This lot was actually super duper cheap. I got it for 20 bucks. Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer, Supreme Commander, which is going in the collection. I don't have it. I'm all about strategy games lately. I don't know why. Call of Duty 2, big deal. I will say this. I love playing this game to this day. I throw it in at least once a year, bang it out. It was the first game I got for the 360, and I guess I'm nostalgic for it. Watching that building collapse for the first time, it was mind-blowing. There was no way a video game console was ever going to do that, but it did. Gears of War, big deal. But this was the big find in it. Grand Theft Auto 5, no map or manual. The second disc I had to put in a sleeve. And I'm going to go on a rant about that now. I bought these from a seller in St. Paul, Minnesota. And I doubt they'll ever see this, but they know who they are. They put 5 games in this box right here. 5 games in this box. Show you 5 games in that box, and that's how they arrived. No packing material whatsoever. Now, I have been to Minneapolis hundreds of times, and I know for a fact in Minneapolis, the suburbs, actually they said St. Paul on the selling sheet, but it was actually Apple Valley. But regardless, I know in any one of those suburbs and the Minneapolis St. Paul proper, you can find some sort of free newspaper on every corner. I don't know if they charge for the city pages or what, but I know you can get a city pages almost everywhere you go. And would it have been that hard to take 2 city pages, crumple them up, and put them in the box? Now, they could have been, I believe this is the case. They thought they were going to get a lot more because Grand Theft Auto 5 was in there. They only got 20 bucks. They said it was complete, but this is what actually came with it. Liberty City Guidebook and a Liberty City map, which anybody knows that, anybody who pays any sort of attention to the GTA world knows that that's from GTA 4. So, if you have an extra GTA 5 map and manual, I have an extra GTA 4 map and manual that I would gladly trade. But anyway, back to my point. No packing material whatsoever. When I contacted the person, I left them messages, and I was not rude by any means, but I certainly let them know that I wasn't happy. I basically told them that this is the message I sent to them. I said, "Hello, I just received the games, and I can say that I'm not pleased at all. First, you used no packing material, so the games were just free to move around. The GTA 5, which you said was complete, has the map and manual from GTA 4. The discs were loose and rattling around the box. The case for GTA 5 is completely broken. The tabs that hold the tray for the second disc are broken, and the spine of the case is completely split down the seam. I just wanted you to know before I leave negative feedback. Then they wanted me to give them. They replied by saying, "Call me," and they gave me their phone number, but they wanted my phone number, which was not going to happen. The last time I did that on eBay, it was a fucking disaster. The person just kept calling and calling and calling and calling. To which I replied, "No, I'm not going to do that." And they said that, "Well, let me refund your money, but send it back, and then I'll refund your money," which I'm not going to do that either, because then they can say I'm the one who damaged them, which has also happened before. So I wasn't going to do that. They were basically saying, "Well, let's escalate this to eBay." And I said, "No, if you would have done it right in the first place, none of this would have happened." The tray right here from GTA 5 was just rattling around because the case was completely destroyed. Call of Duty 2, I had to clean up because it clearly had Kool-Aid spilled on it. It was red. It smelled like cherry Kool-Aid, and it was sticky. At least I hope it was red Kool-Aid. It didn't appear to be blood or any bodily fluid by any means, but yeah, the disc was sticky. Gears of War was advertised as complete. All that came with it was the Xbox Live trial card. Supreme Commander was advertised as complete and in great shape. The manual is so water damaged that it doesn't even open. Now, you could say, well, hey, you only paid 20 bucks for those, Nate. What's the big deal? The point is, when you advertise something complete and in great shape, that's not complete. That's not great shape. And then to send them out in a box 3 times that could fit 3 times that, the amount of games you sent me with no packing material, not secured, just to rattle around, and that isn't even the fault of the postal service. They're gonna handle packages the way they do, and I know that they can destroy them, and just like FedEx and UPS, but that is not on UPS to fix, or the postal service to fix. If you send out a box with no packing material and the items were, even if they would have taped them all together, they wouldn't have rattled around like that. But they did. So the cases were chipped up and cracked and ruined. And they did say the cases had wear, but wear to me is not cracked and chipped and broken cases. Wear is the plastic on the case has shelf wear from taking it in and out of the shelf, putting it on the shelf and taking it off the shelf, etc. That's what shelf wear means to me, not broken, cracked, and chipped cases. There was about 30 pieces of green plastic on the inside of that box when I received it, and I'm not going to identify the seller because that's just rude and mean. But I do know that I would never buy from them again. They advertised everything as in complete and great shape and didn't verify that everything was complete, and certainly didn't even bother to open up some of the games. Supreme Commander and Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer and GTA 5 were the discs were all in great shape. Gears of War needs to be buffed, and luckily Call of Duty 2 doesn't need to be buffed, but I had to clean it up with some rubbing alcohol to get all this sticky stuff off of it. It's clean and perfect now, but yeah, I could have overlooked all of that stuff had GTA 5 arrived in complete condition. If it would have came with the map and the manual. As it stands, I'm going to sell off GTA 5 anyways and flip it for something. So I only paid 20 bucks for that lot, and that's after shipping, because shipping was free. So like I said, somebody would say you shouldn't complain about that, but you don't ship something to somebody like that ever. I guess when I've shipped stuff out, I make sure that it's in great shape before it goes out and it's secure. And my eBay seller score backs that up. So those are my pickups for the week, guys. Thanks for watching. Comment, rate, thumbs up it, I should say. Comment, thumbs up, subscribe. Yeah. And if you're wondering, the music I've been using for the intro and the credits is from 3 of my best friends in the world. I've been using the music from a band called Strap Hanger from town here. They have their album up at Bandcamp. Straphanger.bandcamp.com. I have it in the notes and whatnot and the credits. Please go check it out. That you can certainly give them money for it, and you should, because their songs, in particular Shoemaker Levy, Elliot P, Dana Plato, those 3 songs alone would be worth most other bands' album material. So at the very least, throw them a few bucks for it if they're still taking money for it on their Bandcamp page. Otherwise, download a free album. It's fucking fantastic, and who doesn't want legal free music? Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week, maybe.